Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today, as it promises to be a very interesting one. We're going to be talking about quite a number of things. If you're just joining the bar for the very first time, welcome. This is where we give you everything sports, politics, entertainment, and everything else in between. And with what we're going to be doing today, it's a lot of in betweens. Petrol price in Nigeria seems to have dropped again. We're going to be talking about that with the issue of Mr. Dangote and Nupeng back and forth. Mikel Obi and the Super Eagles, there's quite a number of conversation around that. Of course, we know that Super Eagles and the World Cup qualification is also very important at the moment. President Tinubu is empowering women. We're going to be talking about that and quite a number of other things today at the bar. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. Again, I am Ola Dolupo, and with me in the studio is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank God it's Friday, New Music Friday. Welcome to the Boom Bar.
Okay, so we're going straight into the gist for today. First things first, the president has launched a RenewHER Initiative to tackle maternal mortality and empower women.
I particularly like the idea in its entirety, knowing that we've had one or two initiatives like this in the past, but this one is sounding a little bit more robust and a little bit more detailed. They're talking about a focal office dedicated to women's health in the presidency, which will be replicated across board at the state level. They're talking about interfacing with the Ministry of Women Affairs, the Ministry of Health, and the presidency itself, and the Association of Governors' Spouses. They refer to them as spouses, and I'm like, I thought they said they were governors' wives. And a quick joke about that is how we were close to having a man join that association about 2 years ago.
Yup.
If Binani had won in Adamawa State, maybe our husband would have joined the Association
And he becomes the chairman
of Governors' Wives. So I like the way they were referred to as spouses. But on a more serious tip, they're talking about an AI-powered
But what
digital
happens to states that don't have spouses?
Then like Benue State.
Yeah.
No health for women there. Maybe they should recommend or nominate someone, just a female that is competent enough to sit there to hold forth for the women of Benue State. And I'm also happy about the fact that they're talking about an AI-powered digital hub, that, of course, because I'm glad that government seems to have realized the importance of data and how we must use this to drive initiatives that would then lead to life-changing moments for Nigerians. But this particular RenewHER thing, it's a very nice thing. I'm really excited about it.
Okay, so we'll see. We definitely will follow this one, and we'll see how much updates we're going to be getting from this. So there are quite a number of gists that we're going to be talking about, but starting from, I think there's a lot of gists from a lot of states. I think that we should just go through. First thing is that Delta State has reviewed the dress code for public servants around the state, saying that you shouldn't have artificial nails, bushy beard, blah blah blah, and all that. And I'm like, okay, are these not like adults? I didn't know that dress code was part of like constitution now.
Well, Delta is telling you, the big heart is telling you that now. I particularly do not like the idea of telling adults how to dress, especially in the civil service. I thought, at the back of my mind, when you read the headlines of that particular story, I was thinking that, they're going to tell or encourage people to dress more Deltan, look a little bit more traditional or something, because if we realize how much we're spending on importing clothing into this country,
So
we would encourage the local industries.
interesting news coming from there. They're saying that according to the public service rule, apparently there's a way that you have to dress, and there's been a lot of indiscipline and lack of decorum in when people dress. Let's be honest, actually, I think that even if we want to dress in our traditional attire, I think that people can be smart with it. I think that civil servants are one of the most lawless people when it comes to some of these things. So maybe they'll say that dress more smartly, not look at what you're dressing. But according to them now, they're saying that for male officers, the circular is saying that all staff of grade 13 and above must appear in suit, except for uniformed officers. Grade 7 to 12 are required to dress in suits or trousers with shirts and ties, while administrative officers must always also be in suits. Grade 1 to 6 are also expected to comply, except drivers and plant operators, who should appear in uniforms or trousers and shirts. They're saying traditional attire, including senator suits, kaftans, or native shirts with trousers and caps, would only be allowed on Fridays and special occasions.
Well,
they're saying that for women, basically also the same thing. You're supposed to have on trouser suits, skirt suits, or corporate gowns below the knee, with trousers permitted only as part of suits. Grade 7 to 12 will also wear gowns below the knee with skirts with blouses. Level 1 to 6 should also wear that, and things like buba and wrapper, African print gowns, and other cultural attire are also only allowed on Fridays and special occasion. The directive also prohibits sleeveless or spaghetti strap dressing. Why would you wear that to the office? You safe. Provocative exposure of cleavages, braided or tinted hair, long eyelashes, artificial nails among female. HODs are directed to enforce strict adherence to the revised dress code.
All right, shout out to my people in Delta State. Your government has spoken.
Governor has spoken.
I totally feel it's a little bit overboard. I also feel that it's misplaced in some instances, and in some instances it's good. I can't condemn the entire document or the entire statement, but come on, again, you're telling people to wear suits. You know how much those things cost now? You get. I know you're doing. It's not minimum wage people. We get it, but everybody get bukata away. They taking money. They do. You understand? Except you are saying that people have been really indecent and they've been dirty and not put together. But again, now they can only wear traditional attires, which are the Nigerian national clothing and clothes, only on Fridays. Nobody is going to wear these things in other countries. So, at what point in time are we going to realize that we can actually turn things around if we do more of buying local? But shout out to Delta State. Now, well done.
Shout out to Delta State, Shadi. I shall tell you that you cannot wear it now. Sorry.
And it's people like Dolupo now that have pity. A lot of them have.
I don't understand. What do you mean by Dolupo?
They have false eyelashes. They have. They also have. What's that thing that you just banned now? The use of nails, artificial nails, or what was the name that they called?
As I speak to you, I don't have any of those. So how did Dolupo enter?
At the moment, she doesn't. So maybe she was expecting the ban, that maybe the Delta ban would extend to us. So she was basically trying to get in tune with it. But that's another industry, an entire industry there that you might be putting in jeopardy.
I honestly think that I think it's a little overboard. But for this to come out, I will not be surprised if there's been a lot of unnecessary indecent dressing. And you wonder, but the truth is, when you see what some people wear, and even, like I said, shout out to civil servants, but I think that a lot of civil servants, they're dressing very nonchalant.
So Dolupo's issue is with the unnecessary indecent dressing. Please, let's have the necessary one.
Okay.
Some of us will be looking forward to it.
Anyway, we're moving on from that. And we're talking about
Just
states.
so fast.
Kebbi governor has suspended the health commissioner in the state. Is saying that the commissioner is negligent, is suspended with immediate effect, and he needs to explain why he should return back to work, because there's been allegations of negligence of duty and disregard for his mandate as commissioner.
So this is an interesting story happening in Kebbi State. One of the funny things about it is the fact that it stems from some criticism that the state government really they received from influencers. According to the report that I read, some influencers that called the government out on the state of their health, system in the state, and they responded by arresting those influencers. Interesting. Then there was a lot of hue and cry, and then they let them off the hook, and now they bounce on the commissioner.
And I think I agree on this one with the commissioner, because at the end of the day, did I see that? I saw a picture of someone that was supposed to be ill and didn't even have a bed to stay on. If the governor is going to ask, the next person should be the commissioner. So the governor, is he going to exonerate himself completely? Is he going to say that in his budget, he had catered to all of those needs? It's possible, very possible, and it's possible that there are actually funds for those things, and it's not being sorted. And
I think, in my opinion, I don't have the details, but I think it's sounding like someone is the fall guy here.
But at the end of the day,
it looks like he's the commissioner for health.
What we also say that there are no consequences for actions.
Yeah.
There has to be a fall guy.
Yeah, but in this scenario, in this context, the governor has suspended the commissioner of health in Kebbi State until further notice, and he has to explain why the state of their health system is like that. And shout out to the influencers who called them out on social media and made them feel this way. But I'm saying that the governor doesn't get a free pass in my own book. It doesn't get a free pass in my own book too. Because, one, your job is to recruit the best. Look at the governor of Niger State. About 2 weeks ago, he dissolved his cabinet. And brought back 1 or 2 people already who are still working. And he said, the next batch will be the best that they can have. Do you understand? Now, that's someone who is on top of his game. It seems to be like,
so I'm trying to get this result. Maybe did not get, because really and truly, you really can't know everything. He's just one human being.
That's what I'm saying.
When this now pops up, the next person is going to ask is the commissioner. That's the reason why you are there.
I'm not saying that the commissioner should not be dealt with. But I'm saying that as the governor covered all bases, can he cover himself in glory? Can he come out to claim and say, you know what, in my budget, my state health in my state got 18% or 25 or 30%. That's exactly what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying.
So don't assume. Also, don't assume that it's all dandy on the side of the government.
I'm not saying
I'm saying that,
but somebody has to be.
It's been 2 years of any particular government in Nigeria, apart from the off-cycle elections. It's been 2 years of this particular governor too, and it's taken you some level of embarrassment for you to now say you're suspending the commissioner of health. So in 2 years, how many hospitals have you built at the state level? How many tertiary institutions have you upgraded their health centers? How many PHCs have you facilitated? Look, I'm seeing governors building. There's a particular Niger State, for instance, is building over 100 PHCs. And if you look at the quality of the construction and the equipment on ground, you know that, this is a governor that cares about the health sector. Let's not even talk about Lagos, where the local governments are virtually taking over what should be, a state's role. Because now these PHCs, I mean primary healthcare centers in Lagos, are looking like tertiary health centers. They are looking really nice and they're well equipped and everything. And I'm saying that, drawing a parallel with Lagos, with Kwara, with Niger, with Enugu State, these are states that have been monitoring, even Anambra, that have been monitoring their health sector. I'm saying we've not really heard anything that these people have done. So yes, suspend it, but you, the governor, can you cover yourself in glory? That's what I say, and that's what I'm sticking to.
Okay, so we'll see if there's going to be a reply from the commissioner and or what the Kebbi governor is going to do on that one. Also, Kano State, we're going all the way to Kano State. Like I said, Kano has now proposed a bill to criminalize same-sex marriage and immoral practices. And I have a question though. Or would I just say that at times I feel that some people don't have a plan for their lives. Why I said so is, we know that some things are outlawed in Nigeria, yeah? Mm-hmm. But they're not really, at this point now, nobody's really looking through it. However, when it comes to some states in Nigeria, especially in the north where there's Sharia, then they have this Isba thing and all that. Why would you feel that is that kind of state you want to get married as a rainbowed person? What exactly is going on through your mind? Like, what exactly? Really?
So again, the thing about criminology, the thing about crime, the thing about breaking the rules is that the person who is doing it always believes that they can't get caught.
Oh, okay.
And there's no crime-free part of the world. So regardless of the implications or the repercussions or the consequences for people's actions or inactions, it will not stop people from doing the things that they believe in or enjoy, regardless of the location.
Oh, okay. We do jail. I'm just saying.
All right, what's next?
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were done.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Me. Anyway, quickly, let's go all the way to Benue State. Interesting news from Benue, as the local government chairman in Benue has now suspended the legislature indefinitely. Why did he do that? So, councillors decided to petition the assembly. So, the chairman of the Otukwo local government has now has now said that everybody is going on an indefinite hiatus or whatever it is, because apparently the governor had before that they had petitioned and they written a letter to the assembly about their chairman.
Look, the thing here is we don't have the real details of what's going on, so not to sound biased. First, does the state, does the local government chairman have the power to suspend the legislature at the local government level? Does he? If he does, interesting. The legislature at the local government level actually do have, the State House of Assembly as some kind of succor. They can reach out like they've done now through a petition to say, look, this is what's going on here. We need you to intervene. Just the same way the one at the state can reach out to the one at the federal level. Talking about political structures and structures of governance. But I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was 99, when we returned to full democracy. Something similar happened in Surulere local government in Lagos. And it dragged on for months, man. That thing was terrible. And it showed you that what democracy is about, actually. That if you're not in agreement with the center, there'll be problems all around. And the local government is predominantly a legislative system, because all the councillors, the elected councillors, are legislators. The other set of councillors that you will find are like the local government version of commissioners, who are the ones that are selected. They are referred to as supervisory councillors, and all of that. So now that legislative councillors are actually at loggerheads with the chairman of local government, I hope that they can move fast, because this is the most important arm of government, in my opinion, for governance to get to the people. The local government is just a stone throw. You cannot just vex this money now and say you are going to Aso Rock, or you are going to the seat of the governor in your state. But the local government headquarters is closer to you. The local government personnel are closer to you, and they're supposed to be easily accessible. So I hope they quickly nip this one in the bud, because we also don't want it to degenerate.
Okay, so we'll see where all that is going to go to. And now let's move straight to Nigeria's crude oil conversation. There's a lot of conversation around oil and gas this particular day. So first things first, and I'll say this is kind of good news. I think I saw this earlier today. I think that was the first time I saw it, that the NUPRC, that's the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, is saying that as of this time, that this is the lowest amount of crude oil that is being lost per day in Nigeria, and they're saying that this is the lowest in 16 years.
Yeah, I saw that story and I felt it was a massive story. The thing about it is that we are not celebrating our wins. This is a win for Nigeria. And it also is in tandem with the recent announcements that we've heard in the last 1.5 years about how Nigeria has been steadily close to its daily target that's set for it as output for crude production. So they must be doing something right. And it's not just one thing. One of the things that's really working now is how they're able to monitor the pipelines better. They're deploying technology. Yeah. They also have, of course, the Tantitas and all the other companies that are supervising those actions around that place. Then you've heard that there was a time when almost every week or every other week there was a vessel that's been destroyed or arrested with the load that has stolen crude on it. So we're looking at a whole lot of efforts. The military is doing its own part. The private the security companies are doing their part, and they're deploying technology also. So it seems it's ramped up Nigeria's crude output, which means that we can earn more forex for the country, but especially reduce the losses. It's the highest in 16 years. I think it's the lowest. The highest that Nigeria has done when it comes to output for crude oil, which is in tandem with the lowest loss of crude oil. It's the same thing.
I get your point.
Wherever you stand, so it's massive for Nigeria, and it's worth celebrating. Now, again, always the rider. Now that we're making more money and they're allocating more money to the states and local governments, let's still also look at other things that could make life better for the average Nigerian, because this is our commonwealth.
Okay, now still talking about oil and gas. This matter between NUPENG and Dangote is not going away anytime soon. So there was conversation that they were going to start strike on Monday. I think they did. I think by Wednesday they announced that they had called off strike. The truth is that I'm not sure that a lot of people noticed that NUPENG was on strike, which is not your usual way that they do normally. However, today they have come out to say again that Dangote Refinery has reneged on their discussions. I remember one of the issues that they were having was that Dangote drivers should join NUPENG and all that. Now, what they're saying is they're probably going to go on another strike. Now, however, on that same day, Mr. Dangote has decided to announce that fuel pump price from his own refinery is going to move from 865 naira to 841 naira, and his company is delivering free.
So what Dangote Petroleum, Dangote Refinery is saying is that beyond supply to filling stations now, there are other incentives involved, credit lines and all of that. These are things that I'm sure a lot of filling station owners would have been hoping and praying for in the past couple of years. You know how capital intensive it is to keep these places going. I am for anything that's going to reduce permanently the pump price of petrol and diesel and any other byproduct of crude. The funny controversy is that they are alleging, that's the union, is alleging that the tanker drivers that have newly been recruited by Dangote are being told not to join the union. Dangote's company has denied that, saying that that's not true, So, of course, it's not directly tied to how he has been able to reduce the pump price of fuel, but it's a part of the process that he acquired some couple of trucks. When I say couple, I mean thousands of trucks. And they are CNG powered trucks, which, of course, will reduce his own cost of logistics. So he's willing to plow that back into the business to bring down the pump price of petrol. So somebody please help us tell Nupeng that we are okay with this.
It's not going to work.
Nupeng, on the other side, they're trying to fight for their own survival. If a few thousand people, if it's true,
if they barely need to align at this point.
If it's true, if 5,000 people can join a company that are supposed to be members of their union and they are not, it definitely is a large chunk, and it could affect them one way or the other. Because they claim to be like maybe 20,000 strong when it comes to diesel power trucks that are being driven for that sector alone. So whatever happens, whatever it takes, what the average Nigerian really wants is affordability.
At the end of the day, really, nobody cares. So if you
the strange part, before we move on to something else, your 2 or 3 day strike, we no feel.
Nobody feels.
So please, we're not saying you should go on a strike again, And whatever strikes you people go on, please do not break the law. Don't be like those guys that went to shut down the grid, all in the name of strike. It's against the law.
You will do jail, simple and short.
But you can do your own strike and not move your trucks. Let Dangote move his trucks.
His fuel is a cheaper fuel, so it's okay. Anyway, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has yesterday actually disclosed that the commission has recovered over 10 billion naira for aggrieved customers between March and August. So they're saying that from different different issues from 30 different sectors, they've been able to get monies from people's complaints, from banking, fast-moving consumer goods, from fintech, electricity, telecoms, retail and wholesale and shopping, IT and road transport and logistics as well.
If we don't adopt one particular system that we adopted, let me not say that I adopted. If I didn't, I probably would have been celebrating along with these people. But maybe my own catchment period is older than this. But I can't count, at least, I can count the number of times airlines have collected money from us and didn't carry us. And we didn't get any refunds. The number of times you have bought things online and you didn't get the product. I'm not even talking about what I paid for versus what I saw.
Up until now, there's still a store that is owing me 2 different items, and I'm still not.
And it now shows you that this industry, the people who scam people online and also in the FMCGs and every other sector, are actually holding down a multi-billion naira business. If the FCCPC in the space of 3 or 4 months have recovered over 10 billion for Nigerians, what about the ones that that were not even reported? What about the ones that they could not recover? What about the ones that the companies have changed location and they've moved to another side of Nigeria to continue their scams? A lot of these businesses are actually downright scams. The ones that made refunds, maybe they had issues. You get? But I'm trying to say kudos to the FCCPC for pulling this off. And
they just have a lot more work to do.
Just begging Nigerians to also be more careful, be more circumspect when you're trading and buying things from people, because you really don't know who is an authentic,
who at the end of the day,
business person.
I agree with you. But anyway, I also wanted to I don't want to talk about things that we had talked about yesterday, but there are a few updates. First thing, remember the story of the earpiece?
Yeah, the pilots who were allegedly
so,
inebriated.
At first there was, and I think that Nigerian companies need to stop this, and I think it's nonsense, really. The most interesting update, or the most recent update, is that Air Peace has now suspended the pilot for Port Harcourt runway incident. However, the first report that came out of Air Peace was that, they have not gotten the report from NSIB yet. NSIB put out that statement online. Even if, let's even assume maybe they sent it to you and you have not gotten maybe the hard copy of it, it's your company name on the line. Let's stop this nonsense. This lack of trying to what's the word now, exonerate yourself. Where you
did you just put lack of exonerate?
Sorry, lack of, is a way of exonerating. No. Okay. It's a way of exonerating yourself.
Okay.
No, you cannot exonerate yourself. Did you carry people? Yes. Was it your plane that carried people? Yes. Were they your employees? Yes. So what's the story of we are not getting the report yet or not? That's nonsense.
So if I was involved in your PR, the first thing we will say is that we acknowledge this report and we await the certified true copy of it. Pending that time, as a brand, we do not condone any of such. So whether the report is real or not, we have already suspended all the people on that flight. Do you understand? These are the things that instills confidence.
Like, take responsibility
in your
for
investors,
exactly.
Confidence in your customers, confidence in the general populace that you are not trying to cover up something that might even be endemic. We don't know. Could it even be something that's systemic now? Could it be like a whole lot of your pilots you understand?
It's nonsense talk, talk. Let's stop.
We're talking about lives here. We're talking about lives and property here.
We need to stop. Just stop it.
But a lot of brands always think that they have to go on the defensive.
Distance themselves. There's no need to distance. You carried people. Did the plane skid off the runway or not? Yes, it did. So what's now the story about? Let's know what we are doing, please. Anyway, the Obi of Lagos that is now eating government bids at the moment. For people that let me just put it like this: for Obi of Lagos that was arrested by the police. According to the police now, they're now saying that the man, there are quite a number of fraud schemes that he's involved in. First things first, he's saying that the idea of the building that he claims that he wants to do fundraising for, it was just a way to scam unknowing people to pay money to his account, and then that building is not going to show face. That's how you pull very gullible people. And I'm sure a lot of people were probably planning to attend such a very dumb event. In fact, it went to a point where the man is supposed to be called engineer something, and he's actually not an engineer. He sells building materials, and he's saying that that's how he got the name or got the title engineer, and he started calling himself that. So it seems like the man is involved in a bit of fraudulent activities.
So someone on social media, someone on Twitter had actually alleged this as soon as the story broke.
Oh, okay.
They talked about how it is not new to allegedly being fraudulent. That
this Obi of Lagos
this
man?
particular guy talked about how before he moved to this part of Lagos, it was Ajangbali or somewhere that he used to be at, and of course it was known according to that person. I actually wish I had done a screen grab of that tweet. So the person was like, I forget, this one will be new thing now. This is his game. This is what he does. Oh. Now, this is to the people who feel aggrieved. You see that you people are not as bright.
They have used bread to cool your stew away.
When we learn to put sentiment aside, I'm not saying you should not protect your tribe and fight for your people. I'm not saying that. But you should know the type of fight that you should be fighting. even the whole concept of someone claiming to be a king in another person's land is wrong. It's wrong.
It's daft.
Now he has now owned up to the fact that it's actually a scam. That what he was trying to do was to get your money because you defending him. I know you made up your mind to send money to him. You couldn't go physically, Abi. You were going to send money to this is a good 1.5 billion. That's what the guy could just deflex or Molomo could just deflex.
You just
before
not
you know
see
now,
again. We'll move to somewhere else.
The Obi of Lagos would have moved to another part of Nigeria to be Obi of something.
And you know, he would just move to like Badagry.
That's a big boy now, or back to Ajangbadi. You know,
simple.
so look. At the end of the day, people, let us all speak the truth.
Absence.
And like she said, absence. But I also agree with that and say that don't tribalize everything. What is wrong is wrong. It's even criminal. It's wrong even by Nigerian laws. It's probably not captured at the national level, but at state level there are laws against it.
Yeah, apparently in Lagos it's a very, very
you cannot wake up one day and say you want to be a king.
Oh, Lord, like you said, absence, or else they will use your head to that they will scam you of your money. That's the sad part. People are really they're looking for identity so much that they just lose their senses. Anyway, there are quite a number of updates as well from politics that we're going to be talking about. But before we get into that, because there's quite a number of things to talk about, I just wanted to talk about NAFDAC and announcing that they intercepted counterfeit malaria medicine valued at over 1.2 billion naira in Lagos. It was said that after they raided a warehouse in Ilasa Oshodi area of the state.
How is Ilasa Oshodi area? People, the people that write these stories at times, yes, it's like off the Apapa Oshodi expressway, but Ilasa is far from Oshodi. But let's put that aside. The real talking point there is the street value of this counterfeit malaria drugs. You see, I do not subscribe to self-medication, but I can tell you for free as a Nigerian that the average Nigerian diagnoses himself of malaria at least once a year.
Yeah.
Like, it's malaria. And of course, you take a malaria drug. In some countries, to get those drugs, you go try. But here in Nigeria, it's easy. You can walk up to a chemist, walk up to a pharmacy, and tell them, oh, this is what I'm feeling, and they can prescribe. So you're telling me now that this 1.2 billion naira worth of malaria drugs were found.
Fake drugs, yes.
And they were fake.
Yep.
What about the ones that already made it into the market? You understand? You are killing people because of money. I pray that you don't die. Whoever is involved in this type of business, I pray you live forever. That's my prayer for you. That you live and live forever. Live long and suffer. But just live long. It's a prayer. I can't curse you because
anyway,
I don't believe in curses.
We're moving straight from that quickly, and I said that there's quite a number of political stories that we're going to talk about. First is update. Remember yesterday we had talked about how the that INEC had announced that ADC, they had announced and they had, I think on their website, that David Mark and Aregbesola was the official.
Yeah, the secretary and the chairman of the ADC. The new secretary and chairman of the party.
Made sense. Yeah, a lot of people talked about it. It was only for us just after the Boomba yesterday. The court has now barred both of them from parading themselves as officials of the party.
Yeah, these are the issues. These were the things that we were trying to highlight and talk about. There are people in that party who feel aggrieved, who also are constantly talked about how the person who handed the party over to David Mark and Aregbesola did not have the mandate, that his tenure had expired.
So maybe
way before that.
So shouldn't INEC? This is me, and this is my issue with INEC all the time. Isn't it better to wait for all issues in court regarding some parties like this to be done before you start picking who?
If INEC had been doing their job from the get, it won't even happen.
Because this happens over and over again.
There are requirements as a political party.
Yeah.
There are things that they have to put in place. Then beyond that, they're supposed to have elective congresses. They're supposed to have their general assemblies. They're supposed to have their NEC meetings. There are a lot of things that they should be doing that INEC should be notified of. The person that called you to say, I'm handing this party over, did they meet all those? So these are the issues. And when you finally come with an election and maybe one of these people wins now, and people go to court on a technicality and say, this party self don't even get right to do them in the first place.
So
then we now go...
We are now back to square one, which I feel that I think is high time. I've said it over and over again. I don't know if it is the National Assembly that is going to do it, if it's the courts. Somebody needs to sue INEC for negligence. Because this is absolute nonsense that keeps happening over and over and over again. Just yesterday, the same yesterday, court has barred them. And then, so what are you now doing? Like, what exactly are you doing? Anyway, still talking about INEC now. This is an update. I remember that for the people that a lot of people that went to ADC, there was talks of registering a party called ADA. Now INEC has now said, which might be good news, have now said that 14 different parties that want registration have now been moved to the next stage of the applications.
Congratulations to all of them. Nigeria needs a strong, vibrant opposition and democracy that works for all. Of course, we're still at the teething stages. There will be ups and downs. But the interesting thing is how there will be at least one politician that would have been a part of like 5 parties in the space of 1 year.
Oh yeah, the way they are going. Oh yes, the way it is. Yes, it's very possible.
We're here for that.
INEC had said that they received about 171 applications, but only 14 of them have scaled through to the next stage now.
All right.
So that should be good news for people. Maybe some people need to dump this ADC and go to a fresh party that, you know, that
don't dump
ADC.
It's none of our business. So stay where you want to stay. Go where you want to go.
Oh God, I'm just saying what I wanted to say.
I'm just helping her paraphrase and recorrect and redirect.
Anyway, moving on. Let's go through a bit of international stories. Quickly, Brazil's former president has now been sentenced to 27 years in prison for coup attempt.
Bros, why you say Blanco?
There are quite a number of things. Yesterday, there was news of South Sudan. Also, this is even their sitting vice president that was actually indicted also for coup attempt for even
why you dey plan
bombing a whole military, and about over 250 people died. There's quite a number of violence happening around. Sadly, for people that I'm sure a lot of people saw the protests that happened in Nepal, it has calmed down now. I think a lot of people's eyes have now calmed down, but sadly, death toll has now risen to about 51. Alrighty, it's so sad. Anyway, maybe good news for Nigeria and every other country in Africa, as Burkina Faso has now scrapped visa fees for Africans.
Yeah, someone had erroneously put out some kind of fake news earlier. Some popular person on Twitter was talking about how it was now visa free. You get. But what the country said is that if you're an African and you want to come to Burkina Faso, don't pay for a visa. You still need a visa. But do not pay for it, you know. And yeah, it's good for African integration and everything.
Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction.
There are a lot of stories out there about Burkina Faso that you have heard and read about. Now that it's visa free.
No, maybe now that the visa is not free.
The visa is free. It's not visa free, but your visa fees are now cancelled. Yeah. Now that the visa fee has been scrapped,
you can go.
You can just go experience it first time. You know, have fun.
Have fun. And come and tell us your experiences. I think that the truth is, we should get to a point in Africa that maybe we have an integrated passport, that everybody has same passport, or at least the least we can start from is that it should be visa free for every country in Africa. I think it was yesterday I saw a video where I think someone was going from Morocco to, I can't remember exactly what country, but they were both in Africa. But he was making the video in Paris, where he had to take a flight to Paris to join another flight that was coming back to Africa, and it really doesn't make any sense.
That actually has to do more with the bilateral agreement between the country than the visas.
Oh yeah, there's so many things
because
that
a lot of the planes, they are not allowed to fly from country to country within Africa. So it's even more, even because you can still have that African passport, but your planes will still go to Europe to get another flight that's coming.
Have to get another.
At some point in time, going to Nigeria used to fly direct to Brazil. They stopped it. Then now to go to Brazil for like almost 20 years, Nigerians had to go to Cote d'Ivoire, go to Europe and some other places.
I think
but now you can fly direct. So it's more about that basa than the passport. But it's also a nice idea that might never happen because everybody will still be territorial when it comes to their countries.
Anyway, we'll see where that comes from quickly. South African Supreme Court has now granted men the right to adopt their wives' surnames.
Congratulations. So next story.
If you why?
Because there's a Mikel Obi story that is on our headline.
We will get to it. We will get to it.
Shout out to South African men. I'm happy for you. Enjoy your what? Yeah, whatever I said. Move on.
Okay, now let's go on to sports. As first things first, former Super Eagles player, that seems to be really vocal these days, has now saying that the NFF, that's the Nigerian Football Federation, needs to be disbanded if the Super Eagles do not go to the next World Cup again. So he's putting the blame on the NFF, not on the players or the coach or not.
John Obi Mikel is the person that Dolupo is referring to, and he's not the only one that said it. The chairman of Gabros FC also said something similar to that, and we're at the point where we need to speak the truth to ourselves. There's no truth to power anywhere. Nigerian football is dying. It's dying. We have talent, but we don't have talented administrators. Our coaches are doing their best within the confines of what they find themselves. So where is the problem? A country that has back-to-back winners of African Footballer of the Year cannot qualify for 2 back-to-back World Cups. It is our birthright. If anybody wants to call me out on this. Yes, it is. From the time we started qualifying in the 90s, we knew this is where we wanted to be. But here we are now. Countries that you refer to as lesser are better off than us. They have better leagues. Their leagues are better structured. Their players are better paid. Their coaches have better working conditions. But Nigeria wants to live on past glory. The former NFF under Amaju Pinnick failed us. We didn't go to Qatar. Now, the one under Guzo, his apron strings are tied to Pinnick one way or the other, are also failing us. And now you're looking at an entire generation of players that had never gone to the World Cup. And Osimhen is the best in Turkey when it comes to goal scoring. Demola Lookman falls into that category of the best or one of the best. We have a whole lot of players like that. But we're not going... People who think we're going to the World Cup are still being delusional. You are not going to the World Cup. South Africa has opened a gap. Even if you dock them 3 points or 6 points, it's Benin that would benefit from it, not Nigeria, because Benin Republic, what happened? Benin Republic, the coach that we sacked is in Benin now. Can we do a player-by-player analysis and say that Benin has better players than us? If you sack the coach and he goes to a presumed lesser country, a lot of respect to my brothers in Benin. I'm not saying you are presumed to be, at least by statistics and everything, but you're way ahead of Nigeria in qualifying. Is it the coach that was the problem now? Was it the coach? And the same NFL people will sit down there morning, afternoon, night, still flexing and having fun and writing disgusting press releases, singling out players for curses and condemnation. You mention players' names. You say this one player didn't play a certain way. Is that a press statement? But you didn't accept your own faults. You have not apologized to Nigerians.
Okay, so what do you think that the NFF should have done over the years?
What should the NFF... They should have developed the league. The Nigerian league is the problem. The fact that we don't have competition in the team. The fact that you can mention 23 or 24 players and know that they are going to play for the Eagles. Competition brings out the best in players. The fact that no home-based player ever makes it to the Super Eagles. So because of that, all of them want to fly to Libya, to Ghana, or anywhere so that they can be noticed and brought back to play for the Super Eagles. So it didn't happen overnight. The rot set in years ago until we fix our league. Look at what happened in Chan. We got walloped by, is it South Sudan or which one of these countries?
Yeah. I think
So,
they only won one game out of, I think, three.
The last game, they won the inconsequential one.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that is our real situation. That's our real situation. Until we fix it, until a player in the NPFL knows that he can go toe-to-toe with any player from abroad and still be chosen to play for the Eagles. And that will boost his career and allow him to go abroad if he has to. Until our league starts to pay people well. Until all our stadiums are standard. Again, I say, why do we have a 20-man league, a 20-team league, and we cannot boast of 5 stadiums that are world-class or world standard? What exactly is it about having 20 teams in the Premier League, Nigerian Premier League, but you don't have 20 professional teams? And I know you guys don't like hearing these things because the instant people say it, if you start to brand me, I have no cuckoo care. I'm not looking for any favor from anybody. I'm not looking for any appointment. I don't send you papa because you are killing the industry that would have fed me and my children and our children's children. You have killed it. You know, the entire value chain is dying. Why? Because we have incompetent administrators running sports in Nigeria.
Okay. So, as I said it, y'all don't know what to do. And but the truth is that we should also look at the angle that now that for something that Mikel Obi said, is it right? Maybe to a large extent it's right. But we also know that, take for example, the government or nobody can actually kick them out.
Yeah, because they are protected by the cabal that is FIFA.
So there's nothing anybody can do.
FIFA owns the rights to football until one day that thing is broken. But for now, FIFA owns the rights to football. So you can't actually sack the NFF. If you sack the NFF, they will ban Nigeria for at least 2 years, which would mean a 4-year ban. You understand? They'll ban you for 2 years. Then when you now go, you now go and beg them and negotiate. They'll now say come back. They'll now put their boys back there and everything. You get? And that's what's going to happen. You get? But if I be President Tinubu, I will say, FIFA, I can't continue to be giving these people money and you be doing any yaga. So, please.
So if
sit down.
If NFF,
the only problem is that it will now affect those beautiful women that are doing us proud.
Yeah, if the federal government cannot ban them, so why are they giving them money?
That's it now.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's it now. You have to fund them still.
Then there's no need to fund them.
That's what happens all the time.
Doesn't even make any
sense.
You know,
that's why a government that will come, that will understand the intricacies of sports management in Nigeria, will find a way to put sensible people there. People who know how to run sports in a way that it now starts to reflect, in every strata of the sports industry.
Anyway, the Super Eagles are set to play a friendly in November with Venezuela at the Shell Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas.
I would have been excited about it, but what's going to come out of it? The only good thing about it is that they'll get some points for playing that friendly game. They'll make some money for them, but even the money itself. So I beg.
Anyway, the tickets are out in case you want to.
Please go and watch the Super Eagles. We have one of the best teams. No, one of the best set of players. We don't have a team, but we have. Yeah, these guys are fantastic players.
Yeah, they are.
Virtually every single one of them is a good player, but they don't have the right people to get results.
Talking about Super Eagles player, Super Eagles defender Olaino has also now been sidelined. He's going to be sidelined till December. We know that this.
Olaino is out. Ndidi is also injured. Osimhen is injured. So at times, before we criticize them boys, you see what's costing them too. They are also doing their best. It's just that everybody's best is not enough at this time. Even my own best.
Okay. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again on Monday with another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. Like, subscribe, share, follow, drop a comment. It is Boom Radio NG on all our socials, and boomradiong.com is live all through the weekend. So have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Peace.
Thank you.